Jumped out a plane, tried falling more in love with you. We missed the train each morning, and then we don't know what to do. I can't live with or without you. We could be dying if our hearts beat too slow. 100 reasons I can think to be with you. So if we're drowning, let our love keep us afloat.
If we're gonna leave this ship, we're gonna have to sink or swim. Take my hand and dive in. I'll never let you go again. If we're gonna leave this ship, we're gonna have to sink or swim. Take my hand and dive in. I'll never let you go again.
It seemed to rain for days, I guess our hearts were pouring. We didn't keep the scores, this game we played, it ain't rewarding. It's like we changed our names and that's the reason we ignoring. We highly flammable, I guess we didn't read the warnings. So use with caution, cause girl we awesome. We gotta cherish this, it doesn't come along that often. Just stay for summer, guarantee you'll still be here in autumn. The love I got for you will never ever go to auction. I can't live with or without you. We could be dying if our hearts beat too slow. 100 reasons I can think to be with you. So if we're drowning, let our love keep us afloat.
If we're gonna leave this ship, we're gonna have to sink or swim. Take my hand and dive in. I'll never let you go again. If we're gonna leave this ship, we're gonna have to sink or swim. Take my hand and dive in. I'll never let you go again.
Hey, what's up everyone? Hope you're having a good evening tonight. Alright, so let's take a look at the total crypto market cap and get the night started off. Alright, so it looks like the bears are gaining a bit of momentum on the MACD. Bearish cross on the stochastic. The RSI actually just entered the bearish control zone. And now we're bearishly engulfing on the weekly candles. I would like for us to ideally hold above $1.518 trillion. And as long as we form a higher low, it's still looking alright. But if we start to form lower lows at that point, that's when I'll start to be a little more concerned about the total crypto market cap and cryptocurrency for another run-up. It is definitely still possible we get one more run-up for this cycle, but we're going to have to see what happens here over the next few days and weeks. Alright, daily. Bears gaining momentum on the MACD, bearish cross on the stochastic, bearish control zone on the RSI, and bearish engulfing candle yesterday, and today we're just consolidating after that pullback. Bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the 4 hour, stochastics cross bearish, but it is starting to coil up a little bit. Bearish control zone on the RSI, more room to run to the downside if it really wants to. And now we're just consolidating, seeing if we'll either form support here or if we're going to break down below and continue to fall from this point. Bears losing momentum on the 1 hour, stochastic is coiled up below the 20 zone. Very small amount of bullish divergence on the 1 hour, not really that significant compared to the larger time frames. And just some consolidation going on the 1 hour candles. Yeah, so it looks like we're just consolidating and attempting to hold the support here. If this breaks, though, definitely could be in for quite a dirty downside at that point. So just going to be keeping a close eye here to see whether this holds or we're going to get a break. Alright, Bitcoin gaining bearish momentum on the MACD. Bearish cross on the stochastic. Bearish control zone on the RSI. And we're now bearishly engulfing below the fib level. So same as total crypto market cap, Bitcoin could be looking a lot better. Ideally for Bitcoin, I would like to see us hold above 33,998 roughly. And at the very least, about 32 or 33,100. And as long as we form a high or low above here, still looking alright, but we definitely don't want to be going any further than that point, as we could start to have signs of a bear market at that point. There already is some pretty clear bearish divergence on the monthly, but we've pulled back to pretty close to the 50 zone, which would be a perfect neutral. Maybe we will pull back a little further just to get to that 50 zone and start to come back around, but if we do break below 33,130 at that point, that's when I'll start to be a little more cautious. Bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the daily. Bearish cross on the stochastic, but it is starting to coil up. Bearish control zone on the RSI. And same thing as total crypto market cap. Looks like Bitcoin's attempting to hold this as a support level here. So we're going to have to wait and see whether this holds or if we're going to break below here and start to go to some lower lows. Bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the 4 hour. Stochastic is bearish but beginning to coil up. Bearish control zone on the RSI. And just some consolidation now after that little pullback that we've had. Bears losing momentum on the MACD for the 1 hour. Stochastic's coiled up below the 20. Slightly oversold on the RSI. And just a lot of consolidation on the candles now after the pullback that we've had. So as long as we hold lower lows, it's still looking nice for a potential rally. But if we do get those lower lows, at that point, that's when it could be bloody for the crypto market. Could start to signal a bear market at that point. Alright, Ethereum gaining bearish momentum on the MACD for the weekly, bearish cross on the stochastic, still neutral on the RSI but attempting to get into the bearish control zone, and consistent bearish engulfing candles for the past month on the weekly. Daily bears gaining momentum on the MACD, stochastic is coiling up, bearish control zone on the RSI. And same thing for Ethereum as Bitcoin and total crypto market cap. It's looking like we are attempting to hold this level as support. Bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the 4 hour. Stochastic cross bearish but beginning to coil up. Bearish control zone on the RSI. And just a lot of consolidation going on here. Bears losing momentum on the MACD for the 1 hour. Very, very slight bullish cross on the stochastic, but looks like it's coiling up more than anything. Tiny bit of bullish divergence on the RSI for the 1 hour. Not really that much to talk about since it's a smaller time frame. And a lot of consolidation on the 1 hour candles. So it's looking like for most cryptos that the next 1 to 4 weeks is going to be very crucial, and we'll see what happens at this inflection point. Alright, XRP. This could definitely be looking better. Looks like XRP is making an attempt at breaking out bearishly from this pennant that we're in. Bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the weekly, bearish cross on the stochastic, bearish control zone on the RSI, and now we're just hugging that bottom of the pennant currently. Bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the daily, stochastic is coiling up below the 20, which is nice at least. RSI was very slightly oversold, now we're just slightly above the 30. And now for this daily candle, we're deciding whether we are going to break bearish out of this pennant, or if it's just going to be a slight little pop below and now we're going to pop back into it. So for XRP, the next week is going to be very crucial. Bears gaining a bit of momentum on the MACD for the 4 hour, stochastic coiling up below the 20. We were slightly oversold on the RSI, now it's back above the 30 slightly. And for the 4 hour candles, we're just consolidating under the pennant currently. Bears losing momentum on the MACD for the 1 hour, stochastic very slightly cross bullish, starting to coil up a little. Bullish divergence on the 1 hour, and a lot of consolidation going on here. So we're going to see pretty soon whether or not we're going to get a break bearish out of this pennant, or if we're going to jump back into it, which is what I'd like to see here. We have been consolidating in this pennant since December of 2021, so it's been over a year that we've been consolidating in this large pennant. So whichever direction this ends up breaking, we're probably going to get a very explosive move either direction whenever it finally breaks out clearly from here. Yeah, it's definitely going to be interesting to see what happens with XRP here. Yeah, this is a very, very large pennant that this is currently bouncing around in. So the longer that a asset typically bounces around in a pennant, the more explosive of a move that we typically get whenever it finally breaks out. Alright, so last night we were talking about how for VVS Finance, how we would really like to hold this support level at around 0.00002146 roughly. And if we were to hold here, that would have been a double bottom. But it looks like we've actually dropped below key support level here. And now we're bearishly engulfing on the daily. So unfortunately, VVS may be in for some more downside. The bottom of the fib extension is 0.0000463. So roughly about a 4.5x, I believe it is, give or take from where we are now. So we could be in for a very significant drop on VVS. Yeah, that would be probably about a 80 to 90% pullback if we were to hit the bottom of the fib extension, which that would be a very big pullback on this asset, especially from how far we've already pulled back here. Bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the 4 hour. We are slightly oversold on the RSI though. Cross bearish on the stochastic, but beginning to coil up. We are bearishly engulfing on the 4 hour candles though. Bearish engulfing on the 1 hour as well, with a slight bearish cross on the stochastic. Quite oversold on the RSI for the 1 hour, and the bears are losing a bit of momentum on the MACD. Yeah, it's definitely in a downtrend currently. And the stochastic coiling up on the daily, signifying we could be in for a pretty major move soon. If we don't see the total crypto market cap come back around, wouldn't really surprise me if we see more downside on BVS, unfortunately. Let's take a look at Polar and Sphere and see how those are looking today. Bears gaining a bit of momentum on the MACD for the daily, bearish cross on the stochastic, bearish control zone on the RSI. And now I'm just waiting to see whether or not we're going to confirm the lower lows that I was talking about yesterday. As you can see here, we're in a mini downtrend where we go from high to lower high, lower low, lower high, attempting to form a lower low now, which if we break below about $1.80 to $1.60, definitely could be in for some pretty significant pullback on Polar as well. Bears losing momentum on the MACD for the 4 hour. Stochastic is crossed bearish though, starting to coil up. Bearish control zone on the RSI. And some pretty heavy consolidation here. It's attempting to hold here as support, so we're going to have to wait to see how this plays out over the next few days. But if we do break that final support zone that I was talking about around, about $1.60 roughly, or yeah, let's say $1.75. If we break support around $1.75, this asset could be in for a very dirty downtrend at that point. Bears losing some tiny bit of momentum on the 1 hour with a bullish cross on the stochastic. RSI just got back up to neutral. And it's really attempting to hold this level here. So we'll come back to Polar over the next few days to see how this develops. And let's take a look at Sphere. Sphere is unfortunately not looking that great either. Stochastic's coiled up, it looks like it's attempting to cross bearish. The bears are losing a bit of momentum, which is nice at least. Bearish control zone on the RSI, and some real heavy consolidation attempting to hold this level here. Bulls losing momentum on the MACD for the 4 hour with a bearish cross on the stochastic, bearish control zone on the RSI, and really holding here for now, but look like it's attempting to break bearish out of the support zone. Bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the 1 hour. We are oversold on the RSI, which is nice at least. Stochastic's coiled up, but attempting to cross bullish. And if we were to hold this zone here, this would be a triple bottom. So if it were to bounce here, that would be looking nice, but we really want to be seeing a bounce here on Sphere. Alright, so let's see how Dogecoin's doing. For this week, bulls are still attempting to gain a bit of momentum. Stochastic's coiled up pretty heavily. We are in the bearish control zone still on the RSI, and we actually had formed a lower high, unfortunately. So, as long as we don't form a lower low, it's still looking okay. I don't really like that lower high, though, on the weekly. Bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the daily. Stochastic's crossed bullish, though. Neutral on the RSI. And yeah, this doesn't really look that great on the daily candles either. Tempted to break back into the fib extension, just wicked above. And the next day, same thing, an even lower wick above. And now we came back down. Bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the 4 hour with a bearish cross on the stochastic. Neutral on the RSI. And yeah, just bearishly engulfing currently on the 4 hour candles. Bears losing a bit of momentum on the MACD for the 1 hour. Stochastic's coiled up but attempting to cross bearish. Bearish control zone on the RSI with more room to run to the downside if it really wants to. And attempting to bearishly engulf on the candles. So I wouldn't really be surprised if we do see more pullback on Doge. If we do get one more run up for this market cycle, we are at a very nice accumulation zone on this asset, but it's going to be interesting to see if we do get a final run up for the cycle or if we're going to be entering the bear market soon for crypto. Personally, I'm still bullish until we form lower lows, and at that point it could be looking a lot more rough for crypto. Alright, Shiba Inu. Bears losing momentum on the MACD for the weekly. Stochastic is cross bearish. I'll be back in one moment. Hi, what's up everyone? Sorry for the wait. Alright, so for Shiba Inu, bears are gaining momentum on the daily for the MACD, bearish cross on the stochastic, bearish control zone on the RSI. We are still attempting to form a higher low, which looks nice at least. We have the low here, higher low here for now. Bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the 4 hour. Stochastic is cross bearish but beginning to coil up. Bearish control zone on the RSI. And really attempting to respect the fib level as support for now. Bears losing momentum on the MACD for the 1 hour. Stochastic coiled up pretty heavily. Bearish control zone for now on the RSI. And just a lot of consolidation here at this fib level currently on the 1 hour. We actually do have a little bit of bullish divergence here on the 1 hour as well, which is nice to see. It is only the 1 hour, but the way that we're just consolidating at the fib level here with bullish divergence, that is looking nice currently. Bears losing momentum on the MACD and bullish cross on the stochastic. So if the smaller time frames hold, the larger time frame shouldn't look too bad on Shiba Inu. So far the weekly I'm still liking the looks of for now. Alright, AION, bulls losing momentum on the MACD for the weekly, stochastics crossed bearish, bearish control zone on the RSI, and bearish engulfing on the candles. Bears gaining a bit of momentum on the MACD for the daily. Stochastic is coiling up below the 20 zone though. Bearish control zone on the RSI. And just consolidating right here in a very small downtrend. But we still didn't break any key support levels for now, which is nice to see. Bears losing momentum on the MACD for the 4 hour. Stochastics coiling up pretty heavily, attempting to cross bullish. 4 hour bullish divergence on AION, so that's actually very nice to be seeing. So bullish divergence would be where we get a divergence from the candles. So I'll show you an example of that right here. So the candles goes from a low to a lower low. Meanwhile, the RSI goes from a low to a higher low. So this would be a bullish divergence, a sign of a potential reversal back to the upside. So with the bears losing a bit of momentum, stochastic attempting to cross bullish, bullish divergence. And so far it's just some consolidation here after the bullish divergence is formed. It's not looking horrible for AION on this time frame. Bears losing momentum on the MACD for the 1 hour, bullish cross on the stochastic. Still in the bearish control zone for now on the RSI, but looks like it's attempting to get into the neutral zone. And just a lot of consolidation on these candles here. Yeah, I'm not really minding the look of AION. It's looking nicer than some cryptos currently. If we see the total crypto market cap hold, I don't think AION is going to dump too far. This is a much higher risk crypto, so if we do get another run up, just the previous highs we've seen this cycle would be a very nice return from where we are currently, let alone if we were to get up to any of the previous all-time highs. Not really any utility to this coin though, so this is a very high risk crypto. Alright, so for gold, bulls losing momentum on the MACD for the weekly, slight bearish cross on the stochastic, bearish engulfing on the candles, and neutral on the RSI for now. Bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the daily, bearish cross on the stochastic, bearish control zone on the RSI, and looking like we actually have a little bear flag going on here currently on the daily. Bulls attempting to gain a bit of momentum on the MACD for the 4 hour, slight bullish cross on the stochastic. We were oversold on the RSI, now we're just consolidating above the 30. And just a lot of consolidation on the candles here currently. Bulls losing slight momentum on this hourly candle with the stochastic coiling up, neutral on the RSI, and extreme consolidation on these candles currently. So wouldn't really be surprised if gold does pull back further. Ideally, I'd like to see it hold above around 1768. And if we just form higher lows, it'll still be looking nice for potential new all-time high rally. From where we are currently, we're above the 236 fib level. Not really that much for resistance if it does begin to run again. So gold is looking quite interesting. Larger time frames, I'm quite bullish on gold. Smaller time frames, I wouldn't really be that surprised if we see a small pullback after the nice little rally it's been on. Alright, silver, bulls losing momentum on the MACD for the weekly with a bearish cross on the stochastic. Still neutral on the RSI for now. Bearish engulfing on the candles currently. For silver, I like the way that we had formed a double bottom before breaking above the fib level and just consolidating there. Now we are attempting to bearishly engulf below the fib level. So as long as we don't break below where this double bottom is, around 21.486, Still looking great for a potential run for silver. Bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the daily. Stochastics across bearish, but coiling up pretty heavily below the 20 zone. Bearish control zone on the RSI. And looking like we have a little bit of a bear flag going on here on the daily candles. Bulls attempting to gain some momentum on the MACD for the 4 hour with the stochastic coiling up below the 20. So that's looking nice at least. The RSI is just hugging the oversold region. And now we're just consolidating, attempting to slightly bullishly engulf on the 4 hour candles. Bulls gaining some momentum on the MACD for the 1 hour, bullish cross on the stochastic, neutral on the RSI. And just consolidating pretty heavily on the 1 hour for now. Same thing as gold, I wouldn't really be surprised if we do get a little bit more of a pullback on silver, but as long as we don't break the key support zones and don't form any lower lows, it's still looking quite nice for a nice potential rally for the longer terms. Is there anything that you guys want me to check out for you tonight? Alright, so for the S&P 500, bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the weekly, bearish cross on the stochastic, bearish control zone on the RSI, and now we're just bearishly engulfing on the candles here. We are attempting to form a lower low on the weekly here. So you can see we got a low, lower high, lower low. I guess this would be a higher high than here. Still a lower high than we got right here though. So if we were to form a lower low and close that on the weekly, wouldn't surprise me if we do get a bit more of a pullback here for the stock market. No, didn't take a look at DXY yet. I'll just finish taking a look at the S&P here quick and then I'll load up the DXY for you. Bears gaining a bit of momentum on the MACD for the daily. Stochastic is coiling up below the 20 zone though. Bearish control zone on the RSI with more room to go to the downside if it really wants to. And we're attempting to hold this level of support here, but with the little trend that we're in here currently, it's definitely possible we do break here and start to form some lower lows on the daily and the weekly. Bears gaining a bit of momentum on the 4 hour MACD, bearish cross on the stochastic. There is 4 hour bullish divergence at least, but we did have 4 hour bullish divergent here as well before we ended up pulling back even further. So we got a low on the candles and a lower low, but the RSI we got a low to a higher low. So bullish divergence is a sign of potential reversal back to the upside. Still not the greatest looking trend currently, especially once we broke the right shoulder of the inverse head and shoulders, so going to be keeping a close eye on stocks for the next little while. Alright, let's see how the DXY is looking. Oh yeah, the dollar's on a nice little tear. Alright, so for the DXY, bulls gaining momentum on the MACD for the weekly, stochastics cross bullish. We are quite overbought on the RSI. Definitely on a nice little tear here though. Looking like we had a little double bottom here before it began to rally. Well, actually, maybe even a little triple bottom. For the daily, bulls gaining momentum on the MACD, stochastics cross bullish. For the RSI on the daily, ideally that would break above here if you're bullish on the US dollar. And if we don't end up closing above, let's see. Basically, we'd want to see around 78 or higher on the RSI for the daily for the uptrend to continue. If not, we could get some bearish divergence and potentially cool off at that point. At the same time, we also had some bearish divergence right here, though, on the daily, and just had a very slight cool off, and then it began to run. Bulls losing very slight momentum on the MACD for the 4 hour. Stochastic is cross bullish, but beginning to coil up above the 80 zone. Pretty crazy uptrend we're in here. Really strong uptrend currently. And we are overbought on the 4 hour as well for the RSI. Bulls losing a bit of momentum on the MACD for the 1 hour. Stochastics coiled up pretty heavily. Looking like it may attempt to cross bullish again though. And same thing I was talking about here. We did have some bearish divergence on the 1 hour as well. And now it's looking like it's just attempting to reject that and run anyways. So the US dollar is looking quite powerful right now currently. Anything else that you guys want me to take a look at for you tonight? And for the Nasdaq, bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the weekly, bearish cross on the stochastic, bearish control zone on the RSI, and attempting to bearishly engulf and potentially break below the 236 fib level. Bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the daily, stochastic slightly cross bullish but starting to coil up a bit. Bearish control zone on the RSI with more room to run to the downside. And for the daily candle, we're just consolidating below the 236 currently. Yeah, it sounds good. I'll load up the VIX as soon as I'm done with the Nasdaq here. Bears gaining a bit of momentum on the MACD for the 4 hour. Stochastic is cross bearish but beginning to coil up. No 4 hour bullish divergence. And 4 hour we're consolidating below the fib level as well. So stock market's definitely looking pretty sketchy right now. There's a little bit of 1 hour bullish divergence at least, with the bullish cross on the stochastic and bears losing momentum on the MACD. This is only the 1 hour though, so with the larger time frame looking like it wants to pull back further, I'm not quite sure if this is going to be enough to really hold up. And now it's looking like we're getting a little, I believe that would be a flag. Yeah, looking like we might have a little bit of a bear flag going on here, so I wouldn't really be surprised if we form resistance at this fib level instead of support now, and potentially pull back further. Alright, so for the volatility index, bulls gaining some momentum on the MACD, bullish cross on the stochastic for the weekly, bullish control zone on the RSI, and for this weekly candle we just got a wick right off of the fib level and it's tempting to push off from here. Bulls gaining momentum on the MACD for the daily, bullish cross on the stochastic, bullish control zone on the RSI with more room to run to the upside if it really wants to. And before it ran, it looks like we were just forming higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows. And might make another attempt at some higher highs here on the volatility index next. Bulls gaining momentum on the 4-hour MACD, bullish cross on the stochastic. A little bit overbought on the RSI, but wouldn't really surprise me if it does run a bit more. And yeah, now we're just bullishly engulfing on the 4-hour as well. Bulls gaining momentum on the MACD for the 1-hour, cross bullish on the stochastic, but beginning to coil up quite a lot. For now, there is a little bit of bearish divergence on the 1-hour, and we're just consolidating currently. Smaller time frames, maybe it'll cool off a little. Larger time frames, it does look like it has more gas in it if it wants to keep on running to higher levels. Could be seeing the markets get pretty bumpy over the next few days and weeks. Anything else you guys want me to check out tonight? Alright, so for the Dow Jones, bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the weekly, bearish cross on the stochastic, bearish control zone on the RSI, and bearishly engulfing on the candles currently. The Dow, same with the S&P, was looking a lot nicer before we broke the right shoulder of the inverse head and shoulders pattern. Now we got bears gaining momentum on the MACD, stochastics cross bearish, bearish control zone on the RSI, and just consolidating after a big bearish engulfing candle for yesterday. Bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the 4-hour, bearish cross on the stochastic. A little bit of bullish divergence on the 4-hour at least. And just consolidating on this candle, but this is kind of looking like a bear flag currently. Bears losing a bit of momentum on the MACD for the 1-hour with a bullish cross on the stochastic, 1-hour bullish divergence. And now we're just consolidating here. Looking like it is attempting to form resistance at this previous support level here. So definitely could be in for a bit more pullback on the Dow Jones as well. All major stock indexes are looking a bit more bearish than bullish currently. And with the volatility index as high as it is, wouldn't really surprise me if we do see some crazy turbulence in the market for the next few weeks. Alright, so for HEX, bears losing momentum on the MACD for the weekly. Stochastic is crossing bullish. Yeah, sounds good. I'll just finish taking a look at HEX first, and then I'll look at APE for you. Bearish control zone for now on the RSI. And I do like the way that we're consolidating above the fib level, the 786 currently. And looking like it is attempting to form a higher low as well here. Bulls gaining a bit of momentum on the MACD for the daily. Stochastics coiled up pretty heavily, so looking like it wants to make a major move soon. Market's attempting to decide which direction it wants to break. Neutral on the RSI. And some pretty heavy consolidation going on here. We don't have higher highs, but no higher lows as well. Almost looks like it may be a tiny pennant. Bulls gaining a bit of momentum on the MACD for the 4-hour, bullish cross on the stochastic, bullish control zone on the RSI, and now we're bullishly engulfing on the candles. So HEX is one of the nicer looking charts today. If we are able to form some higher highs on HEX at that point, it'll be looking very nice compared to the other cryptos currently. Yeah, APE is looking quite nice compared to the rest of the crypto market as well currently. Currently bullishly engulfing on the weekly candle, attempting to break above the 618 fib level. Bulls losing a little momentum on the MACD for the daily, but the stochastic is still crossed bullish. Starting to coil up though above the 80 zone. The RSI, we actually had formed a higher high than the previous one, so no bearish divergence for now. That's great to see. And now we made an attempt at breaking above the 618, and we're just consolidating below it for now. Bears gaining a bit of momentum on the MACD for the 4 hour, but the stochastics cross bullish. A little bit of 4 hour bearish divergence for now. So far it's just consistent higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows, higher highs, higher lows for now. So it is in a nice little small uptrend currently. On the 1 hour, bulls are attempting to gain a bit of momentum again with the stochastic coiled up heavily, looking like we may be in for a major move soon. Neutral on the RSI. Bearish divergence on the 1 hour as well. So we go from a high to a higher high, but the RSI is a high to a lower high. So bearish divergence, sign of potential reversal back to the downside, but the rest of the chart actually looks pretty nice for ape. This one is looking more bullish than bearish currently, especially with the way that the total crypto market cap, Bitcoin and Ethereum's looking kind of rough right now, but this coin is still attempting to rally. I'm really liking the looks of ApeCoin currently. Anything else that you guys want me to check out tonight? Tesla, bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the weekly with a bearish cross on the stochastic. Still neutral on the RSI for now. We did form consistent lower highs on the weekly chart though. And lower lows here, so we're going to see if we end up forming a lower low currently, or if it's going to catch some bids and hold support around, let's see, the 382 fib level around 769. Bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the daily, bearish cross on the stochastic. We were just overbought on the RSI. Now we're in the bearish control zone with more room to run to the downside, and bearishly engulfing below the 236 fib level. Bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the 4 hour, bearish cross on the stochastic. Pretty close to oversold on the RSI, but we are still attempting to bearishly engulf on the 4 hour candles. Bears losing momentum on the MACD for the 1 hour. Stochastics coiled up pretty heavily below the 20 zone. Bearish control zone on the RSI, and bearishly engulfing on the candles for now. So Tesla's definitely in quite a little small downtrend for now. The weekly is what I'm waiting to see. So if we do form lower lows on the weekly, Tesla definitely could get a pretty significant pullback at that point, so I'll be keeping a close eye on this one. The RSI is still neutral, but it's attempting to get into the bearish control zone. So between that, bears gaining momentum on the MACD, bearish cross on the stochastic. If we do get lower lows, I wouldn't be surprised if Tesla has a pretty significant pullback at that point. I'll probably check out a few more assets than call it a night. Anything else that you guys want me to check out for you tonight? Alright, Cardano. Bulls losing momentum on the MACD for the weekly with a bearish cross on the stochastic. This has just been consistent lower highs and lower lows here since August 2021. So I'm not really liking the looks of this chart whatsoever. Lower high, lower low, lower high, lower low, lower high. Now it looks like it's going to make an attempt at lower lows again. Bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the daily. Stochastic coiled up pretty heavily, slightly below the 20 zone. Bearish control zone on the RSI, but not oversold yet, so more room to run to the downside. And bearishly engulfing on the daily candles here. Bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the 4 hour, bearish cross on the stochastic. Bearish control zone on the RSI with more room to run to the downside, and consolidating here, looking like it's in a little bit of a bear flag currently. And yeah, I'll check out TRX in 1 sec. Just going to finish this last slide here for Cardano. Bears losing momentum on the MACD for the 1 hour, bearish cross on the stochastic. Slightly oversold on the RSI, and now we're just consolidating pretty heavily. We are below this support level though, so wouldn't really be surprised if it just continues its downtrend down more. Alright, so for TRX, Bull's losing some slight momentum on the MACD for this week. Stochastic is beginning to coil up pretty nicely though. Still in the bearish control zone on the RSI for now. Bears gaining a bit of momentum on the MACD for the daily with a bearish cross on the stochastic. RSI just pulled down to the bearish control zone. And now we're just consolidating, attempting to hold support here. Looking like we are in a small little downtrend here. Lower highs, lower lows, lower highs, lower lows. This is looking alright. We formed a higher high than over here at least. And ever since the news about TRX came out, it's been really attempting to hold the support level at least. And no daily bearish divergence since this is lower than here, so that's nice at least. The bears gaining momentum on the MACD and the stochastic is a little concerning, but as long as we end up holding here, it's still not looking bad. Bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the 4 hour with a bearish cross on the stochastic, bearish control zone on the RSI. And yeah, a little downtrend going on here currently, but still attempting to hold support. Bears losing momentum on the MACD for the 1 hour. Stochastic is cross bearish though, beginning to coil up a bit. A tiny bit of 1 hour bullish divergence, but it's only 1 hour. It's not looking horrible. The weekly, I do like how we got higher lows going on here, so showing a bit of accumulation. But I would like to see some higher highs on Tron soon, just to confirm that it's holding here and showing signs of a potential reversal. Like stochastic on the weekly, I do like the looks of this. If this coils up a bit further and crosses bullish with some bullish momentum coming in, could start to look nice in a few weeks. For now, I'm pretty well just cautious on this asset, going to keep a close eye on it in the coming days and weeks. I'll probably check out 2 more and then I'll call it a night if there's anything else you guys want me to see. Okay, Matic, bears gaining a bit of momentum on the MACD, bearish cross on the stochastic, bearish control zone on the RSI, and bearishly engulfing, attempting to form a lower low for now on the weekly. Bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the daily, bearish cross on the stochastic, bearish control zone on the RSI. Now we're just consolidating after that decent pullback that we had yesterday. Bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the 4 hour, stochastics cross bearish, but beginning to coil up. For now, we do have a little bit of 4 hour bullish divergence, but going to wait to see if we end up pulling back a bit further. Bears losing momentum on the MACD for the 1 hour. Stochastics coiled up pretty heavily. And some pretty heavy consolidation going on here. Yeah, Matic could definitely be looking nicer. It's just in a pretty consistent downtrend currently. Not really much signs of reversing yet. Yeah, if there's nothing else that you guys want to see, I'll check out this final chart and then call it a night. Bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the weekly for Quant, bearish cross on the stochastic, bearish control zone on the RSI, and just been pretty consistent lower highs and attempting to form lower lows now on the weekly candles. Bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the daily with a bearish cross on the stochastic, bearish control zone on the RSI with more room to run to the downside, and now we're attempting to bearishly engulf on the daily candles. Bears gaining momentum on the MACD for the 4 hour, stochastics coiled up attempting to cross bullish below the 20 zone. Bearish control zone on the RSI with more room to run to the downside, and now we're just consolidating here, making a little attempt at bearish engulfing on the 4 hour candles. Bears losing a bit of momentum on the MACD for the 1 hour, stochastics coiled up pretty heavily. Still cross bearish though. We do have a little bit of 1 hour bullish divergence, at least on Quant. It is only 1 hour and could pull back further and invalidate the bullish divergence, but we'll see soon. So we go from low to lower low on the RSI, or on the candles. Meanwhile, the RSI, we go from low to a higher low. So that'd be a bullish divergence, sign of potential reversal back to the upside. Definitely still look more bearish than bullish, so I wouldn't be surprised if this gets invalidated though. And don't forget to smash that like button if you guys enjoyed the stream. I'm going to call it a night and I'll talk to you all tomorrow. Have a good night.
Bag up and my chain hitting like the King's back in his hometown when them wheels hitting, I touch down, they she down low 3-point stands, I'm back there doing jack dance like and I'm not no fashionista, but I'm fly though, and I know I gave up drinking, but I'm high though. Told her I don't come from here, but you could try though. I'm not on top of this shit yet, but I'm that guy though. I take a look round at my confidence, just wide open, big whip and it slide open. I notice they treat me like I'm chosen. Eyes open, heart clean and my mind focused. This shit just keeps going how I wrote it. How the hell could you doubt us? I mean, back then it made sense, but it's like, now what? Now they down to come round just to be round us. You ain't one of my dogs, why do you hound us? It's very few of you I like, but it's a whole lot of y'all I don't trust. Cause 10 toes, that's my MO. Fam of a gram, that's my MO. Fuck a close friends, I got friends that I keep close, and they let it go while I reload. Like, TSA just opened my book bag up and my chain hitting like the King's back in his hometown when them wheels hitting, I touch down, they she down low 3-point stands, I'm back there doing jack dance like